Developing news tonight from the Cantus database for Latin ecclesiastical chant. Digital humanities researchers and students of medieval studies and musicology are facing increasing challenges as they try to piece together fragments of history in what some are calling the case of the missing rubrics. As part of an effort by historians to understand our past, musicologists specializing in medieval chant of the Christian Church have spent several decades poring through medieval liturgical books to account for what cantors and choirs sang and recited in church services hundreds of years ago. New interest in studying fragments, that is, single leaves that have been removed from their original bindings, has made the work for these musicologists and medievalists more difficult. On these leaves, the first chants often begin midway through, and the instructional rubrics that would explain what they are and where they belong in the liturgy are missing, causing a much greater challenge for decoding these treasures of the past. We hear from experts that this problem of missing rubrics has existed for some time and continues to baffle researchers of complete manuscripts, since it is not always a result of a leaf being torn out of a book and separated from its related material, but it is also caused when scribes have left their work unfinished, or when they have assumed their readers were knowledgeable enough to need little or no direction. We are joined by Dr. Debra Lacoste, project manager of the Cantus database. Thank you for being with us today, and I hope you could tell us about the challenges faced by researchers in your field. My pleasure. My colleagues and I who research medieval chant rely on written documents in order to piece together an understanding of what was happening in churches during the Middle Ages. The majority of documents that we study are manuscripts that contain the sacred music and texts of the Mass and the liturgical offices. Since they were hand-copied by scribes in monasteries all over Europe, these books are unique testaments to liturgical traditions at specific times and places. Our work for the Cantus database involves creating inventories of the contents of manuscripts and fragments, and along with several partner projects, we make our findings available online in open access databases. Among the challenges faced by the creator of a Cantus database manuscript inventory are the identifications of the liturgical day, such as saints' feasts, the genre of particular chants, and their usages within services. We look to the rubrics, most often in red ink, but they are usually abbreviated and often ambiguous or even missing. I can show a few examples of what we have encountered. First, a fairly straightforward example. This is a manuscript from the monastery of St. Gall in modern-day Switzerland, copied in the late 10th century. As we page through the parchment leaves, we can take note of what the scribes have communicated to their readers, who were primarily the medieval cantors or the choir leaders. These are the abbreviations for the antiphons, responsories, and verses of those responsories. This rubric tells us that the responsories are from the Psalms, and the one to the right indicates that the next chant is the invitatory antiphon, the one that begins the office of matins. On the next pages, the days of the week are indicated. Feria Secunda is Monday, the third day of the week is Tuesday, and so on. This early St. Gall manuscript is quite clear if you know what to look for and how to interpret the scribal abbreviations. As we look to other sources, however, it is not so easy to create a detailed inventory or table of contents with clear information about every chant. I'm curious about a few things. Why does this page look more confusing than the previous one? And why does it have no rubrics indicating the day in the liturgical calendar? And what should we do with these chants? I'm curious about what feast or saint's day this is. I'm curious if I'm supposed to read these chants top to bottom or bottom to top. I'm curious about why there are rubrics for the chants at the top of this text block, but not for the rest. And what are these chants? I'm curious about what has been scraped off and now lies under this rather amateurish palimpsest. I'm curious why there is only a single responsory each for so many feasts on this leaf, all the way in the calendar from just after Christmas to Lent, and which office are they for? I'm curious if this can even be indexed. Clearly, all the information we would like to have about each chant in each book or fragmented leaf has not been passed down to us. I'm curious how other fields in digital humanities handle missing information in their databases. What editorial policies have they developed? Intermingled with questions of governance, decision-making, and data entry protocols is a growing movement in the digital medieval chant projects towards the development of metadata standards that will increase interoperability. The establishment of unified concepts among different fields of early music research seems within our grasp. Uncertainty frustrates us, but it fuels our work and promotes collaborative engagement as we seek data entry solutions for ambiguous or unknown research materials. Thank you for this fascinating tale of manuscript production, dismemberment, and cataloging. We will continue to follow this developing story over the coming months and into September, when the interdisciplinary conference Music in Manuscript Cultures will be held, hosted by the Centre for Manuscript and Text Cultures at the Queen's College in Oxford.